Mayor Jack Young makes a huge announcement canceling major events in the city this summer. Universal testing will begin today at the state fairgrounds. Maryland marks a grim milestone with more than 2,000 deaths. Some good news, though, is hospitalizations are going down. Let's bring in Amy Kawada now. She's live in Timonium with the latest. Amy.
Good morning, Max. Starting this morning at 10, people will be able to get tested for COVID-19 without an appointment here at the State Fairgrounds in Timonium. Meanwhile, in Baltimore City, the mayor says all major public events with 250 people or more, including Artscape, will not be happening this summer. Celebrations from 4th of July fireworks to Artscape have been canceled. Baltimore Mayor Jack Young made the big announcement that includes all major events through August 31st in the city.
You know, there's always a possibility to take a second look at something, and I am open to that. But I will also be guided by our health professionals and the data that they provide.
Artscape, which brings in more than $28 million to the local economy, plans to go virtual, according to Donna Sawyer, the CEO of the Baltimore Office of Promotion and the Arts, which runs the event.
It should not go on as planned. We cannot gather as a community, which is what Artscape is all about, physically, but we could do it virtually.
Today, for the first time, members of the general public who do not have symptoms of COVID-19 can get tested at the state fairgrounds for free and without a doctor's referral. General Assembly leaders had a cautious reaction.
What I very much hope is that it is not the same as the governor saying that the unemployment system has been fixed.
At a meeting of the state spending board, Comptroller Peter Franchot called to allow outdoor dining at restaurants, which is currently prohibited by executive order.
Who say, look, we're dying out here. We can't survive. You've got to loosen things up.
And tomorrow, more universal testing will be available at vehicle emission testing sites in Glen Burnie and Hyattsville. Governor Hogan also promised more testing at nursing homes. He says all those testings will be available at every single facility by the end of next week. Reporting live this morning, I'm Amy Kawada for WJZ.
Amy, thank you. Our team coverage continues with Kelsey Kushner. She has reaction to the city's announcement that's certainly going to have an economic impact.
Every time there's an event in this neighborhood, the restaurant does incredibly well.
Instead of gearing up for their busy season at Topside in Mount Vernon, General Manager of Revival Hotel Dante Johnson is coming to grips with the fact that summer in the city this year is canceled.
I'm going to have to be creative and have to think of some different ways to drive traction to my business.
Wednesday, Mayor Jack Young canceled all public events with more than 250 people through the end of August, including Baltimore's 4th of July fireworks.
I guess it's a good thing in a way, just so for the safety of the community, safety of other people.
Also taken off the schedule, AFRAM and Artscape. Anna Taylor says it's a bittersweet decision.
I think it's ultimately a good idea. I mean, the more that we can kind of crack down on containing the virus, I'm all for it. It's going to be a really sad year for a lot of the vendors and the community.
The move comes as the city continues to fight the spread of COVID-19. Baltimore remains under a stay-at-home order as cases in the city climb past 4,000. But some say the decision is premature.
I feel like with the fireworks, there could be some type of way that people could be social distance since it's up in the sky.
It is sad.
Now, the mayor says that there is a possibility that he will revisit this decision later if the data shows that it is safe to do so. And he does say that this does not impact any potential sporting events. Reporting in Baltimore City, Kelsey Kushner for WJZ.
A vigil was held last night for 15-year-old Dariana Dyson. She died from complications linked to COVID-19 and is the youngest victim in our state. Dozens of people who knew the teen and others who just came to pay their respects gathered in O'Donnell Heights to reflect on her death. She was remembered as a loyal friend and a devoted daughter.
She always put everybody else before herself. She was the type of person, if you needed something, she would give you her last before she even touched it. She would give it to you.
I can tell you that she's a very good friend. She's really consistent, and if you really need somebody to count on, you can actually count on her.
There are 4 cases in Maryland of this syndrome linked to the coronavirus. The State Board of Elections is expanding the number of locations available in Baltimore to drop off mail-in ballots for the June 2nd primary. The number of drop-off locations is rising from 5 to 15. Now, officials are also considering adding new in-person voting centers after ballots. This all comes after the ballots were mailed out late in Baltimore City. To find out more, just log on to WJZ.com. With less than 2 weeks until the election, a new poll shows a tie for first place in the Democratic primary race for the mayor of Baltimore. The poll, conducted by OpinionWorks for the Baltimore Sun, the University of Baltimore, and WYPR-FM, shows former Mayor Sheila Dixon and former business executive Mary Miller tied in first place, both with 18%. City Council President Brandon Scott running a close second with 15%. But the highest percentage goes to the undecided. 22% of those polled said they're still unsure. 4% didn't want to say who they would vote for if the election were held today, and 1% actually picked someone else. A scare at a Baltimore County trash facility. More than a dozen employees were exposed to an unknown chemical. This happened at the facility on Beaver Dam Road in Cockeysville. Employees were sorting household recyclables inside the warehouse when a can ruptured. Hazmat crews were called and the building was evacuated. Well, Baltimore County Fire says the unknown chemical came from a dog training spray. Some employees had minor injuries, but no one was taken to the hospital. If you live in Baltimore County, be on the lookout for your water bill next month. That's because billing will resume in June and July. After being delayed because of the pandemic, you usually billed quarterly, but because of the delay, you'll get a bill for about 6 months. Late fees will be waived and you won't be shut off if you cannot pay. Also in Baltimore County, the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra is canceling its Star-Spangled Spectacular concert at Oregon Ridge, typically scheduled around Independence Day. The BSO and Baltimore County came to this decision together. They say it's in the best interest of public health. The orchestra hopes to perform again next summer.